Hi, my name is Claudia, and I'm going to be leading you through a quick yoga routine for when you're short on time, but you're looking for a full body workout. In this sequence, try to have your mat right up against the wall. We'll be using the wall for a few of the postures. I'll have you start off in a toe stand. This is a version of a toe stand where you tuck your toes, sit back onto your heels, and try to sit up nice and tall. If that's very uncomfortable for you, you're welcome to just be on the tops of your feet or sitting in a cross-legged position. Try to hold this for as long as you can, though, if you are in a toe stand. Starting a hero's pose, or bringing your hands over the knees, palms flat, shoulders relaxed, spine straight. Just close your eyes for a moment just to get grounded and settled in. Focus on your breath in and out through your nose. And just take one long inhale. And exhale. Settling into your yoga practice. Gently open your eyes and place your right hand on the mat right next to your right hip. Bring your left arm up and over and just going for a gentle side stretch. Try to have your palm rotated toward the floor. Gently sort of puff your left rib cage out to the side without shifting too much weight of your right hip off of your right heel. So keeping both hip bones, sits bones grounded against your heels if you can. Gazing up past the inside of your left bicep, use your right hand on the mat to put a little bit of pressure, really stretching your lift rib cage up toward the sky, reaching your left fingertips over to the right side of the room. Take a big inhale and exhale. And switch, placing left hand right next to your left hip, right arm up and over. Your left palm could certainly be on the floor, but tenting your left fingertips gives you a little bit more height, especially as we get right into our practice here. You want to have a little bit more room. So really reach the right rib cage up to the sky, spiral the right pinky down toward the ground so you get a nice opening for your upper back. Pull the shoulder down and away from the ear. Again, gently push the rib cage out to the right. Reach your fingertips over to the left side of the room. Take a big inhale and exhale. And then coming right back up. Place your hands behind your back, interlock all 10 fingers. Give yourself a gentle shoulder stretch. Do what's good for you here. This might be enough. You can give yourself a little back bend as you reach your chest up toward the sky. Lift your gaze, pull the shoulders back. And if this is enough, stay here. Otherwise, just gently bringing it into a forward fold. Tuck your chin, top of the head on the mat, lifting knuckles up toward the sky. And you can gently lift your hips up off your heels, just rounding your upper back, giving a nice stretch for the shoulders, a little opening for the upper spine. And then sitting your hips back onto your heels, knuckles come down to the lower back. Release your arms, and then place your hands out ahead of you, coming into a tabletop position, knees stacked under the hips, wrists underneath the shoulders. Just a few rounds of cat-cow to begin. So make sure you have a strong hand lock, palms pushing into the mat, all 10 fingers, spread nice and wide. Then exhale, hollow the belly, gaze into your navel, really push down into the floor so you feel your shoulder head slope down, your tailbone reaches for the ground. And then inhale, looking up, lift the gaze, open the collarbones, pull the shoulders back, shine your tailbone to the sky. And exhale, push down into the mat. Pull your navel into the spine, strong lock. And inhale. And exhale, push down into the mat. Make this a really strong exhale. Try and just exhale all the stale air out of the body. And then coming back to a neutral spine. Just doing slight engagement of our obliques. In this posture, in this little sequence here, I'd like you to look over your left shoulder and sort of scrunch your left hip up towards your left shoulder without shifting your hips to the side too much. Then come back through center and look over your right shoulder, kind of scrunching your right hip up towards your right shoulder, feeling engagement. So inhale to center and exhale to the left. Inhale to center. And exhale over to the right, just like you're looking over your right shoulder. Inhale to center, over to the left. Last round here, and then inhale to center, and over to the right. Give a little squeeze, and then inhale back to center, neutral. From here, coming down to plank on our forearms, bring your forearms onto the mat, tuck your toes, engage your quadriceps, make sure your shoulders are stacked over your elbows. If this is uncomfortable to have palms flat, you can interlace your fingers. Engage your quads, a little tuck at the tailbone if you can, pull the navel in toward the spine and just maintain here for a moment. We won't be here terribly long. If you need to modify, knees come to the ground, but you still have a nice straight back, parallel to the floor, otherwise maintaining here. 2 big breaths, inhale. And exhale. Big inhale. And exhale. Good, and then just drop your knees. And just push back to a downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift the tail. Make sure you're far enough away from the wall, as we will be lifting our leg in a moment. Feet hip width, hands shoulder width, push out of the shoulders. We'll be doing a lot of just pivoting forward to a plank and then back to a down dog using the breath. So inhale to prepare. And on the exhale, just shift forward to a plank position using your core. Shoulders over wrists. And inhale, push back. And exhale, come forward to your plank pose. And inhale, push back. And exhale, push forward to your plank pose. You can continue doing this, otherwise inhale, push back to your downward facing dog. Just maintaining here for a moment, and inhale, right leg up and back, and try to keep the leg lifted as you pivot forward. Plank pose with the right leg lifted, then inhale back. And exhale, come forward. Try to keep the right leg parallel to the floor, then inhale back. And exhale, come forward. And inhale up and back. Bring the right foot back down to the mat, then inhale, left leg up and back, 3-legged dog. And exhale, pivot forward to your plank. Inhale, push back. And exhale, come forward. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Keep the tummy nice and tucked in, so pull the belly button in. And inhale. And bring the left foot back down to the mat. Strong downward facing dog here. Walk your hands all the way back to the feet. Hang down in a ragdoll pose. So with your feet hip width, hold on to opposite elbows here and gently allow the weight to tip forward into the balls of the feet. You can keep a little bend in the knees if you need to. Sway the upper body left and right, side to side if you'd like. Nice. Just make sure your neck is relaxed, head is heavy. Take a big inhale. And on the exhale, allow the arms come down to the mat. So releasing the arms, a gentle bend in the knees. Engage your core. So pull the navel in as you reach your tailbone down toward the floor and gently round up 1 vertebra at a time, slow and controlled. Good. Just coming into a wall sit to engage our quads. So in your wall sit here, try to have your back totally flat against the wall. As you come down into it, start with your feet hip width and try to come down eventually so your ankles are right underneath your knees. And your thighs are parallel to the floor. If that's a bit too intense, it's okay to be a little bit higher, but try to eventually get all the way down and do your best to really engage your core. If you can't pin your lower back against the wall, then just try to work in that direction. Just want to make sure you're not overarching your back, maintaining here. Shoulders soft, jaw relaxed, nice easy breath. And just maintain. Allow the heat to build in your legs a little bit here. This will be pretty much one of the only major quad workouts we'll do today, so this is your moment to give it everything. And holding here is a great place to stay. You're also welcome to toe heel your feet back together. Squeeze your knees together. And if you'd like to challenge yourself and your mat doesn't slip forward, then just extend your right leg out parallel to the floor. Just maintain here. And switch. Bring your right foot to the mat. Again, squeeze your knees to restabilize your hips. And then extend the left leg out. Just maintaining for a breath. Good, and then bringing the foot down. Excellent, and just popping right up off the wall. Separate your feet to hip width, coming down into a Malasana squat, elbows in, sides of the knees, hands in prayer position. Gently bring your hands down so that your hands are in line with your elbows, especially the heels of your hands. Try not to be curved forward, essentially. So gentle pressure the elbows on the insides of the knees. Pull the shoulders down and back. Try to look forward for a moment. Good. And then just coming into a short downward facing dog from here. So another down dog, with this time your heels are right against the baseboards, right against the wall. Nice short posture. This is a great place to stay and get a nice stretch on your hamstrings, but otherwise coming right into a down dog on the wall. In this posture, walk your hands in a little bit. Place your right heel about the level of your hips. Your foot should be flat against the wall. It's a little bit funny, but it's a good, safe way to get upside down. Push your foot into the wall until your hips lift up over your wrists. So you should make a nice L-shaped position. If this is really challenging for you, walk your hands out a little bit away from the wall and walk your feet up the wall just a little bit to take the pressure out of the shoulders, but eventually making a nice strong L shape in the body. Again, great place to stay. If you'd like to give yourself a little challenge, really zip up the ribs, extend the right leg up. It's a nice little prep for a handstand here. Try to have your wrists, your hips, and your heels stacked. Push away from the floor, pull the shoulders away from the ears, strong hand lock here, spiral the inner thigh in, and then return the right foot to the wall. Push your foot into the wall, and then extend the left leg up. Try to keep your left quad engaged, get lots of length, push away from the floor, hands pushing straight down into the floor, reaching up. Try to remove a back bend, so engage your core, and then bring the left foot to the wall. Maintaining here for a breath. And then safely bringing your feet down to the mat. Again, find yourself in that Malasana squat. So heels are in, toes are out, elbows inside the knees. Just a strong push of the elbows inside the knees. Try and get nice and tall, but shoulders are soft. Again, just giving a little stretch. Lift on up, come to the wall. And just a little shoulder stretch here. It's a great one to really open up the thoracic spine, the chest, the throat. A couple options. Starting here, face the wall. Place your hand the same level as your shoulder, right? Same height. Palm is flat on the wall. Take your left hand, place it right on the wall, right next to your left shoulder, and just roll open. So this is initially a great way to do this posture, having your hip right next to the wall, and try to have your shoulder, the front side of your chest, touching the wall as well. This might be enough for you. If you've got really flexible shoulders, you can cactus the arm, making a 90-degree angle with the elbow. Make sure the elbow is the same height as your shoulder. If this is a bit much for you, hand can come down a little bit. Maintain here. You can intensify the stretch by continuing to roll the body open, away from the wall. And then just switch. Same thing other side. Left palm, make sure initially at least that it's the same height as your shoulder. Hand comes on the wall here, your right hand this time, that way you can use a little pressure. So for most bodies, initially the stretch is there, but to intensify it, you generally need to put a little bit of pressure of your hand against the wall or really twisting the body. My foot is against the baseboards, just finding that nice, gentle but effective stretch. Try not to go so deep that you're gritting your jaw, clenching your teeth or anything like that. You want to stay soft in the rest of the body, just isolating the stretch, in this case on the left shoulder, left chest, maybe feeling it up into the jaw. Good, and then rolling back forward, finishing up here in another shoulder stretch. Hands are shoulder width apart right above you. It's a little bit funny. Make sure your feet are about hip width distance, just about a foot or two away from the wall. That way your hips stay stacked over your heels, and placing your palms on the wall ahead of you. You can look right at the wall. Gently draw your chest toward the wall. You want to open up your upper back here. So in this posture, legs are straight, one straight line from heels to hips. Try not to let your hips sink forward. Instead, really focus on your chest sinking forward. Looking up might be accessible to you, or maybe just looking forward, but try to make sure you're just not looking down. You want to really encourage the stretch in the upper body. This is a great place to stay for a few minutes. If you have time, make sure your hands are shoulder width. Holding it here, engage your core, gently push your rib cage toward the wall a little bit more. Take a big inhale, and exhale. Good, and then push away from the wall. Nice energizing way to end our practice. Just coming straight on down, do legs up the wall. So just kind of scoot yourself forward so that your hips, your bum is right against the baseboards. Extend your legs up the wall to the best of your ability. If this is a bit too much on the hamstrings, you could certainly have your hips a few inches away from the wall as well. This is a relaxed posture, okay? So just bringing your arms by your sides, palms facing up, feet are hip width, toes are relaxed. The idea here is to be in a comfortable position and letting all the blood drain from the legs to the rest of the body. This will be very energizing for the rest of your day. Take a moment to soften your jaw, to close your eyes, This is a posture you can do at any time of the day. You're welcome to stay here if you'd like. We'll just take a moment here to ground and end our practice together. So with your jaw soft and your eyes closed, just take a big inhale. And exhale, release all the tension from the body. Let the legs soften and relax. Jaw is soft, face soft. Focusing on the breath in and out through the nose. Nice. Great work today. Namaste.